Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm your moderator today, Head of City Innovation Program, Mr. Ocean Yeo.
Me to be the host of this event. I was curious, why me? Until I learned that this program will try their best to save all the oceans from the plastic waste. So, yes, my name is Ocean. I believe that's the reason why I'm here. 好，那么首先呢，我仅代表终结塑料废弃物联盟。
First, on behalf of End Plastic Waste Innovation Platform, show great gratitude for our friends, both online and offline, to participate in the Shanghai launch.
I would like to welcome and thank all of you for coming to today's launch event. 我们非常开心能够邀请企业高管、投资机构代表、学术专家莅临会场，也很感谢线上的教授、学者、初创公司企业代表的加入。大家今天在线上线下齐聚一堂，为了达成。
We are gathering here. We have a lot of experts, industry experts, to come here to have the same target and ending plastic waste innovation platform. In the past several years, the startup enterprises of startup companies has brought a lot of changes to our lives, and also this is the same situation with the plastic waste. Ending plastic waste innovation platform together with MPMP thinks that we have ample room for and full of potential for future development. So in 2019, we established in Paris, Silicon Valley, and Singapore to start such kind of platform. And this year we're going to making strides based on the achievements we made in 2019. And today we officially kick off the Shanghai launch of the End Plastic Waste Innovation Platform.
Together, we can see how innovation drives a sustainable future. 那么在正式进入会议之前呢，我们也有几项会务方面的提醒。大家可以看到大屏幕上有3个二维码，同传二维码。会议议程二维码。
There are 3 QR codes: Chinese, English, conference interpretation, event agenda, and live pictures. So you can scan the QR code according to the leads.
We also have a few reminders regarding the logistic issues. There are 3 QR codes on screen for interpretation, meeting agenda, and the photo live stream. You can also find these 3 codes on the table tags. 那么同时呢，相信大家在签到入场的。
And at the same time, when you are signing in, got yourself registered, you can have the guests can leave their empty plastic bottles in a recycling bag. All bottles recycled on the event will be transformed into various forms of products. And on Expo Day, PMP will showcase all the creative and impactful solutions after the event. And you can also view that and also soar the magic of sustainable development.
You can put your finished water bottles in the recycling bucket. All the plastic bottles collected today will be transformed into various kinds of products through innovative technology and sustainable design. And the final products will eventually be presented to you on the demo day of the program. At the back of the venue, you can find a sustainability innovation inspiration corner. We hope it brings you some new ideas of plastic sustainability. 那么我们今天的会议日程将会。
And also in today's meeting agenda, we are going to include the opening remarks, the show play of AEPW and PMP accomplishments, and also the introduction of Shanghai launch, and also keynote speech and startup talk, and place the platform introduction, and also closing remarks, launch ceremony, and launch and networking at last, so that you can feel convenient to have networking after the meeting. So our meeting is going to kick off at first. First, we are going to invite Michael Almosley, Chief Revenue Officer from PMP.
For the Alliance to End Plastic Waste partnership with Plug and Play. I'm very excited to be speaking with you guys today, and so excited to get get this moving. This has been something that we've been really excited about, and it's been in the works for a little while. And so today really marks the start of what we believe will be an amazing journey. Before I kind of get into it, I just wanted to say thank you to a few people, everyone at the Alliance who's made this partnership a reality. I know a lot of hard work has gone into this event specifically, but just generally over this past year, it's been amazing to work with all the different members and everyone that works at the Alliance. Special thanks to Jacob, obviously, and another huge round of applause and thank you to our team here at Plug and Play, Matt and there, Nick, our ventures guys living out in Singapore. You guys make this this program and this partnership, just a pleasure to be a part of. So for those of you who don't know Plug and Play, we are the largest global innovation platform in the world, which is a really broad term, but that's because we do a lot of stuff. We run 50 startup accelerator programs across roughly 33 cities around the world. We work with over 400 corporate partners to really fuel their external innovation strategies and introduce them to great startups that can help them solve their business challenges. And then we ourselves invest in over 200 startups every single year, ranging from pre-C to Series B. So we ourselves are also investors. And our mission as a company is to drive innovation by connecting entrepreneurs, corporations, and investors worldwide, which is evidenced by this event today. And in order to do so, we knew we had to create a global innovation platform, and this is what it looks like in terms of our footprint. What started in Silicon Valley has now expanded across almost every continent, and now we've got a platform where you can actually identify amazing startups, invest in them, and get them connected to different corporates and different partners across all these geographies. And so you can imagine a world where a startup is looking to raise a Series A from Europe. They can now come to Silicon Valley and tap into the investor network, or vice versa. A Series B stage company in Silicon Valley looking to tap into Europe or Asia to expand their business now has a portal to do so. And so this is really what our model is all about, is creating this connective tissue between all of our different hubs. And it all started in the early 90s. The inception of Plug and Play really started in the early 90s, where our founder and CEO, Saeed Amidi, was fortunate enough to be able to house, invest in, and accelerate some of the best and most popular and well-known companies in Silicon Valley, like Google, Logitech, PayPal, and Danger. And this has led to a legacy of just making amazing investments. Today, we've got about 1,500 portfolio companies, and we've had roughly 1% of those companies exceed $1 billion in valuation. And so we've had tremendous success, and really it's because of the ecosystem, because we've brought together all these amazingly smart people around different types of platforms that we're all interested in. That gives us the foresight and the vision to make great investments in emerging tech in each of these industries that we work in. And I'd say something that makes us so unique is the fact that once we make these investments and startups, we can actually connect them with customers and partners that can expand their business pretty rapidly, faster than they could probably do on their own. And so we're working with over 300, now over 400 corporate partners around the world that are actively coming to us to meet startups that can help address specific needs that they have as a company and actually leverage that tech or that solution to get them there quicker. We do this through something we call themed innovation platforms, where we actually bring together multiple corporations in one industry that can collectively dictate the focus of the program, collectively filter the applications that we receive from startups, and then jointly select the companies that will make it into a 3-month program. And obviously, we're all here today to celebrate our partnership with the Alliance End Plastic Waste and our expansion of our End Plastic Waste Innovation Platform to Shanghai. As some quick history, we signed this partnership with the Alliance in late 2019, October 23rd, I believe, and it's grown into an amazing network of hubs where we are accelerating startups that are looking to end plastic waste for good. And so we now currently have 3 locations that have been up and running. We're launching Shanghai today, and we have 2 more coming in short order in Sao Paulo and Johannesburg. And so all of a sudden we'll have this global network of hubs that will allow startups access to new markets, and our corporate partners and members of the alliance visibility to places they may not have boots on the ground. And so it's this very virtuous cycle where everyone benefits: the startups, the corporates, the investors that are all involved. And I guess really to just end it, just to give you guys really some numbers and give you some context around the things that have been accomplished with these programs since we launched. We've looked at roughly 2,000 startups across these different hubs, of which 32 have been accepted to various programs. And of those, 50 plus pilots have been launched or executed between the alliance members and the startups that have gone through the program. That is just phenomenal. And that's happened in such a short period of time. We've also seen about 3 million deployed into startups, either from the members or from Plug and Play or other investors that we work with into the space. And over 1 million pieces of litter collected through a campaign that we did with all the startups. It's really phenomenal what we've achieved. And, this just gets me so excited about what we can do now in Asia, in China specifically with this launch, but then also what can we do in Johannesburg, what can we do in Sao Paulo? And then what happens when you bring all these things together, these geographies, these partners, what kind of impact can you really make to the possibilities? So with that, I'd like to thank you. Again, it's been a pleasure to be a part of this journey thus far, and I can't wait to see where it goes. My name is Michael Olmstead, and if you guys want to reach out and learn more about how to get involved, whether you're a corporate partner, a startup, an investor, please do reach out. We've got a great team in a lot of different geographies around the world that we really help. Thank you, and here's my colleague, Matthew Claxton.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, everyone. My name is Matthew Claxton. I'm a Global Director of Sustainability here at Plug and Play, and I could not be more thrilled and excited to welcome you all as we officially launch our Shanghai program with the Alliance on Plastic Waste. It's been an honor working with them over the last year, and as you saw from some of the metrics that Michael showed earlier, we've had a lot of great success, but we're really only just getting started. Today, you're going to hear from a few very special individuals that we've been working with over the last year from the Alliance and from its member companies. You're also going to be hearing from a few different startups and just getting a little, piece of what we've been really up to over this past year in our efforts around the world. So with that, I'd love to pass it along to the Plug and Play CEO and founder, Saeed Hamidi, with a few special words about this partnership between Plug and Play and the Alliance on Plastic Waste. Take it away, Saeed.
好，感谢 Matthew。那么接下来，让我们有请。
Thank you, Matthew. And we are going to invite CEO and PMP, Mr. Saeed Hamidi, to deliver an opening speech to all of you.
It is great to welcome you to Shanghai launch of our sustainability program. We have been active in China for 4 years, and we are very proud of the development of different verticals like brand and retail, food, and other activities that we have launched in China. The sustainability effort, and more specifically, Alliance to End Plastic Waste, started a little bit over a year ago. And we have been very pleased with the result of working together with these large corporations and the startups that are more agile and more innovative, both in US, Europe, Paris specifically, as well as Singapore. And now we feel, since China, first, it has an incredible large population and has a big say in the plastic value chain, we feel we can connect this sustainability effort from one of the most powerful countries in the world, China, with some of the technologies from Europe, US and Asia. Please join me to build this ecosystem together and to have many great ideas that we can pilot together and scale. Thank you for the opportunity to welcome you.
Thanks, 那么接下来我们将有请终结塑料废弃物。
Now we are going to invite President and CEO of Alliance to End Plastic Waste, Mr. Jacob Duer, to deliver an opening speech.
Good morning to our distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I would like to take the opportunity to thank Saeed for the invitation to deliver these opening remarks to this exciting launch between the Alliance and Plug and Play in China. At the end of 2019, we introduced the End Plastic Waste Innovation Platform in Silicon Valley, followed by Paris and Singapore. But since then, a lot has happened. For one, COVID-19 has changed the world forever. And within this time, we have also seen an increasing visibility of the plastic waste challenge. We can say that COVID-19 has heightened people's awareness of plastic waste, and we have seen nations grapple with policies around this issue. In fact, in 2020 alone, there have been several scientific research papers that have been published on this topic, and the trends are clear. Plastic waste entering the environment has become even more pronounced in the past 5 years. 11 million tons leak into the ocean on an annual basis. And if we don't do anything about that, the number will go up and it will reach 29 million tons in 2040. A challenge of such global proportions need a global response. And this is the very reason why the Alliance has partnered with Plug and Play to identify startups with ideas and connect them with the necessary expertise and resources. It is estimated that $120 billion worth of plastic waste are lost to the environment because cities still do not have in place proper waste management systems to manage post-use plastics. So ending plastic waste is just one of the journeys that we are on. The other journey is to turn waste into a valuable resource so that communities can transition into circular economies. And the startup community can help us getting there fast. I'm also pleased to share with you that despite the challenges in the past year, the End Plastic Waste Innovation Platform has been able to attract over 2,000 startups across all 3 hubs, with 32 of them now placed on accelerator programs. And even more than $3 million in capital have been deployed in over 50 commercial pilots. These startups cover action areas like cleanup, collection, sorting, processing, and of course also education and engagement. I'm very excited that our journey in China has begun, and it starts with our collaboration with the launch of the Plug and Play Shanghai End Plastic Waste Innovation Platform. Good luck and thank you.
Thanks, Jacob. 接下来让我们用掌声欢迎来自终结塑料废弃物联盟的项目。
Next, we will welcome Mr. Nicholas Kalosh to give us the speech. He will share with us all those startup achievements for the past year.
Good morning to our distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nicholas Kalosh, Vice President of Projects at the Alliance to End Plastic Waste, and I'm delighted to welcome you to the launch of the End Plastic Waste Innovation Platform in Shanghai. I'm proud to say that we've been on this program with Plug and Play since 2019, and on this platform, we've taken startups out of their offices, labs, and yes, even out of their garages, and we've brought them here on this journey with us. Since the 2000s, there's been extraordinary acceleration in the innovation space. The combination of innovation and disruption has helped us tackle very complex challenges, such as managing plastic waste pollution. Partnering with Plug and Play, we launched the End Plastic Waste Innovation Platform across 3 hubs in Silicon Valley, Paris, and Singapore. And today, innovators and visionaries are coming on this journey with us. Some might call them dreamers, but we call them change makers. You also often hear us talk about strong leadership and swift action. Acting fast means thinking globally and acting locally. We've been on the ground working with problem solvers, community leaders, and businesses to find real-world solutions. Today, the Alliance has put into place a robust and holistic approach to the plastic waste challenge, grounded on 4 key pillars: infrastructure, innovation, education and engagement, and cleanup. China has also seen the importance of ending plastic waste in the environment. In 2019, the Shanghai government introduced a compulsory waste segregation policy. This required Shanghai's 26 million residents, including commercial establishments, to segregate waste at its point of origin. This regulation required people to sort waste into 4 categories: residual, wet, recyclable, and hazardous waste. Within a few months, Shanghai saw 41% of its waste buried in landfill decrease to 20%, which was a huge success. This shows that innovative ideas that are relevant to local requirements and serve the communities in the long term can have a measurable impact. You have heard earlier from Jacob that since the launch of the End Plastic Waste Innovation Platform, we've reached more than 2,000 startups, with 32 of them on accelerator programs. More than $3 million of capital has been invested and deployed into these startups, and over 50 commercial pilots are underway with Alliance member companies. One such example is Circularize, a startup from our Paris hub that has already partnered with Covestro, Domo Chemicals. Circularize is developing a prototype that will set a standard for transparency within the plastics industry using blockchain technology. Another success story is OceanWorks. OceanWorks is collaborating with Avient Corporation through the launch of several new post-consumer recycled and post-industrial recycled portfolios under the Resound brand name. Avient developed a PCR grade based on OceanWorks recycled ocean plastics. These grades are formulated for consumer applications and can then be used in personal care products, lawn and garden tools, outdoor goods, office supplies, footwear, and household durables. Not least, we are delighted to introduce Litterati, a startup from our Silicon Valley hub. Litterati is an app that empowers individuals to make a significant, measurable impact on the environment. But it's more than just an app. It automatically geotags the image, and the Litter AI tool recommends tags for what kind of litter it is. With the data collected, Litterati is able to create effective solutions that lead to lasting change. We worked with Litterati to launch our World Cleanup Day campaign in 2020, and from the success of this campaign, the relationship with Litterati grew. Soon, the Litterati app will be further enhanced with the addition of education elements, machine learning technology to characterize litter, and gamification to engage users. Each of these success stories have encouraged us to do more, and it confirms the fact that collaboration is indeed key if solutions are to happen fast. Our progress with Plug and Play has been truly amazing, and we're excited and can't wait to see what groundbreaking ideas will come out of our Shanghai hub. Startups with ideas in sustainability or plastic waste minimization can now have access to world-class resources and expertise through the accelerator program. There is a new entry point to experience from our member companies, representing the full value chain. This is yet another exciting new phase for the Alliance and Plug and Play Shanghai, and we're thrilled to be on this new journey with you. Thank you.
感谢 Nick。那么今天呢，我们也请到了2家初创企业 Greyparrot。
Actually, we have already invited the entrepreneur and the CEO from 2 startups to give us the sharing, and they will share us their own interpretation and understanding after innovation. And actually, now we will invite Michaela Druckmann to give us the first speech.
Let's first welcome Michaela.
Hi everyone, I'm Michaela Druckmann, co-founder and CEO of Greyparrot. My team and I have built some of the most cutting-edge computer vision systems in the world. And at Greyparrot, we're dedicating our expertise to solving challenges in waste management, like contamination, expensive manual sampling and sorting, and the lack of data on waste composition, especially as the requirements on purity are becoming higher and higher. And ultimately, we believe that what isn't measured cannot be optimized. And this is why we provide waste recognition software to monitor, audit, and sort waste at scale. We are on a mission to digitize waste, to increase the transparency and automation in the industry. And our aim is to empower all stakeholders from waste managers, producers, and regulators with better data analytics to help us transition to a more circular economy. We believe that AI computer vision has the potential to solve problems along the value chain of waste, from bins that can identify materials, smart trucks that can identify contamination, integrations with robotics, and ultimately automated monitoring and quality guarantee of waste streams. To start, we are introducing digitization of waste composition to move away from spot samples to continuous and constant monitoring of material flow. Our solution is an automated waste management system that can analyze large waste flows on moving conveyor belts. And it's composed of three main areas. One is a monitoring unit that we place on top of conveyor belts that is very flexible and can be retrofitted in any environment. We then use advanced AI and computer vision to analyze materials. And with that real-time information, we allow to have dynamic machines, pricing by quality, and also certifies waste flows. Our AI vision system can also be integrated in different types of hardware, like reverse vending machines, trucks, and robotics as well. This is an example of our monitoring unit that is placed in different types of environments and retrofitted to different types of waste facilities, from municipal to commercial waste. This is some examples of our AI vision at work, where we look at the object, the materials, and even at the brand level recognition of those materials. And finally, detailed data analytics that can be recovered offline and in real time. Here is an example here of our work in South Korea, working with one of the largest recyclers there. And here we're analyzing PET lines and measuring actually the purity level and identifying that contamination, so that when it goes to market and to the buyers, they can have a quality guarantee of the waste stream. In the UK, where we're analyzing residue lines to identify valuable recyclers like paper, cardboard, aluminium in the waste stream, and we can follow section per section and minute per minute all those valuable materials and react in the moment if there's inefficiencies in the plant to be able to recover those valuable materials and ultimately have better financial returns for the facility. This is another example in Italy, in a plastics recovery facility, specifically looking at PET purity, again, identifying different contaminants and being able to identify anomalies in the product line. And here again in the UK, we're monitoring all plastics line in the facility, not only to recognize the material composition, but also the brand composition to help with extended producer responsibility efforts. You can see our system can have impact in different areas of the waste stream, primarily in the input lines to understand the composition of the waste and what's coming in, to be able to adjust parameters along the way. At the end of material lines to verify the quality and the purity and being able to deliver on contracts and the purity level required in the current market today. And finally, in the residue line to ensure that the facilities are working at maximum capacity in recovering all the valuable materials that translate into financial value. In just 18 months of starting the company, we've had significant traction. We now have 6 commercial pilots that are rolled out in UK, Japan, South Korea, Italy, and soon in other countries in Europe as well. We have trials in waste to energy and chemical recycling. We have raised more than $3.5 million led by leading European VCs like Speed Invest and also with participation of Plug and Play. And we also received government grants in the UK to further our R&D in our technology. We have also been featured in leading tech and industry media all around the world. And of course, one of our key assets is our team. We have deep expertise in AI and computer vision, and also a very strong entrepreneurial background, with multiple of us having built successful tech businesses before. Finally, I also wanted to speak about our experience with Plug and Play in the Alliance to End Plastic Waste, which has been a key accelerator for us to gain commercial traction. And we've had a lot of help in different areas. One was to be able to start pilots in waste management facilities with leading waste managers, gain expert insight and knowledge from all key stakeholders in the plastics ecosystem. And we also had the support of the program to gain new investment and different collaborations. We are looking forward to a continued collaboration with the Alliance to End Plastic Waste and different plug and play programs, and also engaging with this program in China as we ourselves are looking to move into that market and find strong collaborations there, especially as China is leading the requirements in waste composition and purity. Our goal is to become the leading waste recognition software that's going to enable us to transition to a circular economy. We are starting with material recovery facilities and growing into different areas of waste like chemical recycling and waste to energy, and also looking for hardware integrations into smart bins, robotics, and smart trucks. Waste composition will be increasingly valuable for different stakeholders in the waste management, and that will also allow us to monetize this data that was never available until now. We are committed to extracting the financial value of waste by providing better data analytics to the whole ecosystem, which in turn will also keep our planet clean. We're looking forward to further collaborations. 谢谢。
谢谢每个。接下来我们还有另外一位初创企业。
Next, we have another startup company, Litterati. Let's invite founder and CEO Jeff Kirshner to share with you.
Hi, I'm Jeff Kirshner, the founder and CEO of Litterati. I wanted to take a minute to share a little bit about what we're building, and then tell you about our experience with Plug and Play in the Alliance to End Plastic Waste.
When was the last time you picked up a piece of litter? What difference would it make? This tiny decision can mean more than you think. One turns into many, and many turns into more than you could ever imagine. It can create change. A community of people cleaning the planet, one piece at a time. What are you going to do?
We're on a mission to eradicate litter, and we've built a platform that's powered by people. Here's how it works. You photograph a piece of litter with the Litterati mobile app, and that photo tells a story. It holds a ton of data. We're able to understand who picked up what, where, and when. And we use AI and machine learning models to identify the objects and their material and their brand. The community generates all of this data, and we put analytics on top of it, thereby creating insight. Those insights drive impact at scale. It's a community which is now in 165 countries, who collectively have identified, mapped, cataloged, and collected over 7 million pieces of litter, growing at an average of 20,000 pieces a day. That has created the world's largest open litter database, an information set that anyone can contribute to or consume from. And that information can be used to inform policy, influence more sustainable packaging, and inspire personal responsibility. We like to call them stories of impact. Let me share two. The city of San Francisco wanted to understand what percentage of litter came from cigarettes. And so they used our data to understand exactly that at the most granular level. And that data went on to inform a tax of 40 cents per pack, which now generates $4 million a year in annual recurring revenue for the city to clean itself up. And during that process, we learned something interesting, that every city has a unique litter fingerprint. If you could provide that level of value for San Francisco, well, you could do it for Oakland, or New York, or Amsterdam. Let me give you another example. A school in a small town called Modesto, California, they wanted to understand what was lying all over their playground. So they picked up 1,247 pieces of litter, And they learned from the data that the most common type of litter are the plastic straw wrappers from their own cafeteria. So these students went to their principal and said, why are we still buying straws? And they stopped. And they started using reusable options. Speaking of education, we've recently partnered with TED and the Alliance to End Plastic Waste to create an entire educational curriculum, video content, and other resources about plastic pollution and how we can begin to solve this worldwide problem. Litterati started in the woods of Northern California, and today it's spread across the world. It doesn't matter if you're a student or a scientist, whether you live in Nairobi or New York, this is a community for everyone. So join us.
What's been so unique about this experience is that the Sustainability Accelerator is unlike any other. Where in the world will you have a group of startups working in conjunction with long-standing companies who are all focused on solving the same problem? That's just a really fascinating opportunity. And when we were invited to be part of it, I said to the team, we need to be the kid at the front of the class. We need to say yes to everything. We need to look for how we can not only learn from those who have been doing this for decades, but where we can provide value. That, for us, was the definition of success. And I will tell you that the last 6 months, working with the member companies of the Alliance to End Plastic Waste and Plug and Play has been a truly remarkable experience.
好，感谢 Jeff。那么接下来
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Now let's invite Mrs. Bella Zhang, Head of Brand Retail Energy Sustainability, PMP China, to share us about and the Alliance to Plastic Waste Shanghai launch. And we are going to look at how to have breakthrough solutions and also startup companies who have their own unique way in ending plastic waste. Okay, let's warmly welcome Madame Bella Zhang. Distinguished our guests, both online and offline investor representatives, and also scholars and experts. First, great gratitude to all of you who can share with us about Alliance to End Plastic Waste Shanghai launch, Shanghai program. And PMP has always been innovating the largest proactive global sourcing innovation funnel. And from this funnel, through 18 different offices, we have more than 15,000 stage agnostic startups sourced per year. We want to have further communication with them so that we recommend them the best, the suitable investors and also PMP partners. So in our startup companies, we have, in our playbook, we have 34,000 pre-qualified tech companies. And targeting at our current Shanghai innovation platform, we have our special startup selection process. And for example, this is similar with our Paris program, Singapore program first. We know what are the focus areas of our startups, and collection, design, sorting, processing, and use. And stage 2 is application core. So we sourced about 1,000 startups, for example, through our official database, our platform. You can file for your application. And we have an analysis team who are doing some searching work and analysis work to dig into the companies who are related to us, especially in terms of ending plastic waste. And after that, we are going to invite our panel member filtration. We have some panel experts to get our list for selection, and based on the basic background, we can make a judgment, and from the 40, we can select 20 out of the 50, and we have the first official roadshow, and after that, we have 10 or 12 startups officially enter into the final competition. I know you are very interested in our program 2021. Today is our official launch of Shanghai program, and it's an official launch of our platform. And March in March 3, we are going to announce the top 100. And also May 19, we have the selection day. And after that, we announce the result. And for May 20, we have the program kickoff. And after all those have been accomplished, the final one will be showcased in August 10th. This is a showcase day. So if you are interested in our program, just as our moderator has mentioned, we have 6 programs being rolled out around the world. So you can select each of the 6 which are interested to you. We want to help you to know the latest trends of ending plastic waste together with you. And also our distinguished guests know that in this PMP and our collaboration with the Ending Plastic Waste Alliance is very, very successful in the past year. We want to keep this momentum and also want to speed up our development to help many of the companies to have more opportunities in China. And apart from our partnership, we have co-investment and collaboration with the Best Investment Fund, thinking of our opportunities. And this has showcased our collaboration together with some of the investors, and we are going to share our latest information about investment together with you. Okay, finally, show great gratitude to all of you, especially for our team who has made great sacrifices and efforts for the kickoff of the Shanghai program. And thank you so much for your support and for your appreciation. If you have any questions interested in us, or you have further guidances that you want to show me and suggestions, I warmly welcome all of you to show to us. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Bella. We are looking very much forward to the filing application of startup companies and our collaboration within 1 year. Now let's invite Madam Cai Zhongqing, CEO of Keynote Group, Greater China region. Keynote has been devoted into some of the fashion, jewelry, and also waist watch, Gucci, YSL, and some other very famous brands. I have this great opportunity to be invited by PMP to deliver a keynote to all of you. I feel greatly honored, and I would like to share with you about the sustainability courses. Keynote is devoted to sustainability. Why luxury brand wants to do sustainability? Of course, sticking to sustainability is our core corporate strategy, and also it is our vision and mission for the future of luxury brand. And it is not only about the transcendence, innovation, but also protecting the nature, protecting the future of the world. That's our mission. So you can know that we have some wonderful sharing, some startups. Also, they want to have some forwarding insights and experiences. As such a large company, we have more than 30 staffs, and we have more than 13 brands. We have different stores and a very long supply chain around the world. So within such a large group, how can we stick to sustainability? And Bala has showed with us about the acceleration badge. Is a very, very efficient and also rewarding experience together marched by us with PMP. We are in the innovation badge, and within the past 2 years from Europe to China, we are always developing together with the PMP and Fashion for Good. This is in the fashion sustainability together with them to stick to our innovation practices. Okay, first,
So, first of all, in 2019, in G7, our group carrying group, the CEO and the chairman invited by the president of France, Mr. Macron, for his invitation to organize a sustainable association for fashion industry. And it is based upon the last 20 years practice. And it is based upon the last 20 years practice and development and cutting-edge practice. And we were invited by the president. And actually, within less than a year, we have accumulated all those experts, around 30% of the practitioners within the luxury industry, and among which 30 groups represent around 250 brands, and we work together and for the cooperation of the development for sustainable development of our industry. And also we have some quantification standards, and in terms of the protection of the ocean and the protection of the variability of the climate, and in terms of the protection of the ocean, and it is closely related with the waste management of the plastic waste, and also how to lessen their own negative impact toward the ocean. And the association has been established for more than a year, and we have generated a preliminary research. And actually, we are among the most powerful association in this industry. And this is a photo taken in Paris, and around 67 groups signed the association contracts. And actually, one of the other important trend is that the consumers have the expectation. They hope that their own lifestyle could be more sustainable in the future. And in the McKinsey report from 2020, they also mentioned, and I'll quote here, more and more young consumers and their own awareness toward the product, whether they are capable of being sustainable, they pay special attention to that part. And also that is also a representative of their say in such kind of a product. They are more willing to choose the product featured with sustainable and to showcase their own value system. And so that is why we believe the consumers are driving the force for the sustainable development in our ecosystem. And so that is why we want to navigate the awareness of the consumers and to educate, to engage them more from our physical store to the introduction of our online store. And actually, we had a very detailed introduction to our product, which included the introduction toward our raw material. And we know that for all those luxury brands, the selection of the raw material to the retail to the marketing for each of the steps, we have a lot of engagement in terms of sustainable development. So that is why we want to share with our end consumers directly through our own website. And we know that the consumers, they are more willing to learn, and the more knowledge you share with them, and the more conviction they will be, and in the future, they will purchase more, and they will have a higher standard to you in the end. So this is a cycle. So we just mentioned that not only in our industry, but also from the end users, they are driving the incentiveness for the sustainable development. And we also believe that in terms of the sustainability, we have made the real practice for more than 15 years, starting from our strategy to our organization. We have the specialized sustainable department, and we also have the chief sustainability officer in our board members, and we also have established a specialized committee to focus upon the directions and the strategy in this regard. And we believe that one of the most important thing among which is the supply chain. And in our luxury brand, the fashion industry, it is quite complex and complicated. And the product starting from the selection of the raw material to the actual design and to the retail, and it is closely related with the different parts of our value chain and the supply chain. And we found that around 93% of the supply chain sector pay their great impact toward the end result of the sustainable development. So that is why we want to hold a open relationship with the supply chain. We have the environmental P&L. This is the innovative and self-developed tool. And we also have set up a holistic and sustainable strategy. I will talk more about the environmental P&L. And actually, we have the financial profit and loss a lot. And now we will tell you more about the environmental P&L, and we will use the terminology and to use it to evaluate its own impact. And we want to make it more qualitative and to showcase its own value, and being equipped with such kind of environmental P&L, and we found that toward the production and its pollution toward the environment and the utilization of our lands and the production and the management of our waste, they all become the quantitative target. And among this environmental P&L and quantitative target, and we understand what our prioritized target will be, and which means that we then can focus on our own emphasis and to target at the prioritized number one. For example, we have purchased a lot of silk in China, and we know that China has manufactured the top quality silk products, and so that is why a lot of luxury brands are quite willing to cooperate with the suppliers in China. So that is why we decided to develop and research a project called Organic Silk. And during this Organic Silk project, and the designers cooperate with all those suppliers, and they come to the farmland, and they also cooperate with the individual farmers on a holistic way, and to make some breakthrough in some innovation and based upon such kind of standards, and which means that this organic silk could be introduced into our facilities, and all those brands could come to those innovative facilities and to make the final garment. So which means that we have around more than 3,000 different materials, and to turn it into a sustainable raw material. And so that is why we believe all those designers in our raw material lab to select the suitable products and raw materials which cater to the satisfaction of their own development. And also we have made the pilots in terms of the experiment for the raw material in jewelries, in watches, and I believe that in a quite near future, all those innovative raw material will be showcased and represented in the final products, and they will have a positive impact toward environment. And at the same time, they are the luxury products, they are quite exquisite. And so that is why we want to transform our environmental P&L into a mini program in China. And so it's more like a gamification, and to give all of us a visibility toward the P&L, and you just scan the QR code here to experience it yourself. So actually, if you are the designer and all of your selections is closely related with the environment in the end, so when you are trying to design the clothes, you make a lot of selections, and the raw material for your coat, and the raw material of the buttons, and the raw material of the leather, and where are you going to source all those raw material? And in the end, they will generate the EPNL, which means your impact toward the environment. And if you scan it and you experience it, and you will understand how are we going to put it in our own framework. And the methodology of our environmental PNL, they are all open source. course in our website, and you could just visit caring.com, and you will have a detailed interpretation toward our scientific methodology for the EPNL and its correlation with our own industry. So actually, EPNL is a self-developed tool, and more companies in our industries are willing to use it nowadays. And we believe that different companies could apply the same methodology and to create your own EPNL. And later, I will just tell you more about the projects we cooperate with Plug Play, and in 2017, and we primarily started in Europe for the accelerator, and I believe that around more than 50 different enterprises were selected by this platform, and I believe that some of the companies they served directly for Kering Group. And for some of the startups we invested our capital in, for example, and they transformed the mushroom into leather, and it is called alternative material, and this is a tech company, and we have made a close contribution and the collaboration with the cutting-edge technology. So by making full use of Plug Play platform, we have selected those companies embedded with the principle of sustainable development. And in 2018 December, and we launched the entrepreneur platform, and we encouraged all those startup companies to be engaged actively. And after a year of practice, and we have selected from more than 50 different enterprises the top 3 prize winners, and those prize winners they have made their sharing in our Shanghai Fashion Week, and the Kering Group will also provide a mentorship of networking, and they came to our headquarters in Europe, and also they came to Amsterdam to the Sustainable Fashion Industry Association. They communicated and shared their own interpretations with all those experts and colleagues, and if there would be no pandemic, they would come to Silicon Valley, the headquarters of Plug Play. And so actually during the whole process, we believe it's not only about the 100,000 capital investment, but also about the network we have incentivized into them, and we inspire them to develop more. And actually in China, we have launched a lot of education pilot in sustainable development. And in 2018, we cooperated with the London Fashion Design Institute to design a course, a curriculum called the trend for the sustainable luxury brand. So actually, initially it was a MOOC course. So this is free of charge, globally speaking, and you just could register and to know more about the sustainable luxury system. And actually in 2019, we have collaborated with Tsinghua University and to make full use of their own MOOC course, and we use bilingual to promote the course in China. And in such kind of MOOC courses, we have gathered around more than 30,000 students globally speaking. And some of them, they are the designers in this industry, and some of them are the sourcing experts, and also some of them are the media practitioners, the students, and the policymakers, and they are actively learning to engage them more in the awareness of sustainable luxury brand. And actually, for the sustainable principle, it could be represented in different areas in terms of the management of our enterprise. And actually, we have participated for the consecutive 2 years in CIIE, and the design for our exhibition hall, and from its beginning, our own demand to the designer is to make it, to transform the design into a more sustainable one. And based upon the last year's exhibition hall, we have retained around 2/3 of the raw material, which means that we have saved around 6 tons of the waste and to transform it into a more innovative one. And actually, we have invited already sharing architecture firm, and they are quite famous for the design of CCTV skyscraper in Beijing. And so this is a very mini example. I just want to share with you the practice of sustainable, and we could practice from our own, starting from the design to the strategy management to incentivize it into your own mindset. And it can start from a very small process and to generate us great leaps and also to help us to save a lot of cost to generate more values. So that is why the Caring Exhibition Hall is being awarded as the Green Exhibition Hall.
And also, I would like to give some examples of our certain brands. We know that our designers, they are KOL in the fashion industry, and each of our brands can serve the development of consumption of some of the brands. And for our brand, we have sustainable promotion and implementation. For example, Gucci series, it is used with sustainable clay. We have made it to show to our innovation and also global consumers. And also Jane founder, we have invited him as the advocate and a spokesman for this brand. Many of the raw materials of this side come from the nylon, the waste from the ocean, and we change the waste into treasure, make them into the different lines, and weave this our famous brands. And Gucci is the first luxury brand to carry out sustainability, to use the recyclable nylon to build the bags. So you can see that our brand can motivate our consumers to carry out and implement sustainability so that to promote the fashion and the consumption brands and also ideas. This, I would like to talk to you about this year, July. In 2025 strategy, we have added another special strategy as to animal and biodiversity. So for us, this is of great significance. Many of our designs and innovation are inspired by nature, and many of our raw materials come from nature. So if our industry, fashion industry, wants to have further development, we must be in harmony with nature and coexist with nature so that we can have sustainable future of the industry. And in this part, together with biodiversity, we have very concrete targets. For example, we have built a biodiversity special fund, and also for the supply chain, 6-fold of the land concerned with us biodiversity. We have protection of the land, and we have 1 million hectares of ecological farm and ecological agriculture cultivation. We know there are some protected and rare and very, very protected species. Their habitat mean a lot to them. So as enterprises, we need to protect the habitat of these protected animals, and we are doing 1 million hectares promise commitment. So you can see that we are down to the earth. Our sustainable strategy and development are always related to our industry. And every aspect of the enterprise is not simply sharing, and it's not empty words. And it is down to every employee, every staff, every customer side, which can be embodied in the processes, in the product. And finally, we wish to, through a quantified method, to showcase our efforts in sustainability for all these years. And this year, in the 2025 strategy, after we have advocated, we have the midterm report. And in the midterm report for our setting targets, we have very good feedback. For example, in the report we have in 2025, we reduced 50% of the carbon emission, and now we have reached 70% of our target emission trade emission reduction. And for footprint measure, by 2025, we need to reduce by 40%, and we have already reduced 14%. So in the future, we have more and more through this innovation technology. We want to reduce our influence on the environment. And we are very, very optimistic about it that we can reach our target by 2025. That is my sharing today. Thank you so much for the great opportunity offered by PMP China. And we want to invite more friends who are interested in me to have further collaboration with us. Of course, only through collaboration can we have more sustainable development and have more protection. Only me or some of the companies, we cannot accomplish this grand target, and only by sustainable development can we learn a lot. And next topic is CEO Roundtable and Ending Plastic Waste Alliance. CEOs are going to share with us about their expectation with AEPW PMP program and solving the plastic waste. And also, we are having the moderator, the program developer, Mr. Wang Jinqing, serving as moderator. TAOS, Greater China Region, Mr. Lin Yulin, American Senior VP, and also Asia Pacific CEO, Ms. Tao Xiaosheng, and also Talo, Mr. Chang Xinjie. Okay, let's warmly welcome
Mr. Yuklong Lin, Mr. Ed Zhao, and Mr. Jet Chang. Let's welcome. 大家上午好，我是杨。
Good morning. My name is Yang Qianxi. I come from Ending Plastic Waste Alliance. I am responsible for the investment for the sustainability and also some of the China affairs. So it's a great honor for us to invite some of the knockout enterprise representatives from the company. First, introduction from Mr. Lin. You can speak Chinese. It's okay. Mr. Lin comes from Singapore, TAOS China in the Greater China Region. I have worked for 41 years. That is the second largest in the world, and we have 8 production centers, 10 business units, 10 business centers, and I've worked serving as the Greater China Region Chairman for 5 years. My Mandarin Chinese maybe not so good. My name is Zhao Xiaodong. I'm responsible for American Asia Pacific business, and for American, maybe some of you don't know our company American. We are globalized, multifaceted, doing manufacturing industry, and from business we have 4 business sectors. First, it is precision chemical production together with plastics, some of the additives, and some of the painting additives, and also daily necessities. And the second part is doing pharmaceutical, is doing the garment weaving industry. We have the largest factory in North America, but now many of, for example, protectives and industry protectives. And third part, it is for the business carpet. For commercial carpet, we are one of the main brands who are doing the commercial carpets. For example, in Beijing, you can see many of the carpets are produced by us. Beijing Daxing International Airport. And the fourth part is for example, pharmaceuticals, some of the bandages used in the hospitals, and many of the weaving materials in the pharmaceutical and medical and in the hospitals are our products. Okay, thank you so much. From my company name, I always joke the big Tao, and the talent for us. We are small Tao. Of course, we are providing the collection and the selection businesses. My company is responsible for circular economy development. And for the past years, we are focused. It is plastic waste and how to carry out a closed loop development, and also from the waste, especially the living life waste, how can we put them for sustainable development, and how can we have higher value and higher quality sustainable development? That is our target currently. That is our currently. And thank you so much for your introduction, and warmly welcome to you to the Roundtable. Ending Plastic Alliance was established in London last January. At that time, we were only a dozen of them, but now we have more than 50 of them. You are the founding members of our company. So first topic, I would like to share with you your company, why you would like to start or joining in alliance. And also for yourself, why are you looking forward? You thinking that our mission is very, very meaningful. Sustainable development and also plastic waste. This it cannot be solved by one company or one country alone. So we need a very, very strong development. And AEPW is the largest in the world, and to have our partnership. So we have such a large platform and the good opportunity, and we can solve the sustainable development for the whole world. And here we have the program, and also our actions are urgently needed. Of course, we know some of the theories, but whether can we put them to use, that's very, very important. And many of the members, they are really, really strong in their ability. And if we share the same vision, and we combine our capability together, and our future success capability can be higher. Thank you, Mr. Lin. Okay, I would like to share from two perspectives. First is from company perspective, and also our China businesses. So from China businesses, from cultural perspective, we have three key elements. First is innovation, and second, it is sustainable development, and the third is we are a very, very very social conscious company. We have great social corporate responsibility. And our chairman wants to say how we make money is more important than how much money we made. So our company, how to develop, how to make profits for how as a priority of us. So as a very important basic starting point of us, our target is really related to our corporate culture. And another perspective is that when we carry out certain industry, no matter it's from the chemical industry, paint industry, hospital, pharmaceutical industry, you can look at it as the main theme of the development is sustainable development. So this is our strategic development and part in for us. So after we sing the AEPW, we think that it's a great honor for us to participate and to become a member of the alliance. Okay, let's show you about the situation in China, in Asia, and why myself think that why I'm so concerned about the alliance. I would like to give you one example. In our daily life, you use Ele.me or Meituan to deliver food to you. And when you can look at that, all the wrappings and the boxes are transparent plastic boxes. They are unrecyclable, and also it uses the membrane distilling technology to make such kind of plastic box. Before 2015, we don't have such kind of boxes. And before 2015, you use a plastic bag or a white TPS foaming boxes to wrap it. But after 2015, we have this technology, and we have such kind of technology, and we have one additives and adding it, it will be more transparent, and the physical elements will be better, and also size will be very stable. So for us, China catering industry, we have the soup and water.
So I believe that, just like I have just mentioned, that this is quite new and innovative. It's groundbreaking, and we are making progress with the association, with the partners. And actually, our first manufacturer located in Qingdao, and actually we set up a lot of JV companies. We help the China Petroleum and also several companies for the research and development of the raw material, and for the supply chain. We have made the contribution, and after such kind of research and development made, and we noticed that it is quite a common use in the chemical industry, according to our own estimate. And last year, the utilization of such kind of raw material has been over than 120,000 tons. And in Shanghai, the utilization of the raw material is around 440,000 tons. So I have my own feelings in two parts. The first is that thank you for the awareness and appreciation for the end consumers in China for the raw material, and actually it could help us in terms of the healthcare and lifestyle. And actually the next interpretation for me is that in Shanghai, and if there is no good way for us for the recycling process, and the utilization of more than 140,000 tons might cost the impact for the aftermarket. So that is why for the meeting of our Asia Pacific board members, and I believe that it is very important for us to collaborate with the suppliers, and also for the better optimization practice of the recyclable and reusable products. And actually I could witness a lot of contribution we have done, and we need to fill that gap. And to follow Mr. Yu's speech, and in terms of the management toward the plastic waste, and it is quite complex, and it needs to be collaborated by different parts of the supply chain. And I believe that the association have already covered the representatives from different parts. And I believe that with the engagement of the retailers, we will form a sophisticated closer loop. And so that is why we decided to join the association. And the next reason is that as a technology provider, we believe that we could provide our own expertise in the association, and actually in terms of the digitalize the technology and the AI utilization, and we can make our own contribution. And so that is why I believe that it's a great honor and a great opportunity for us to participate in the association. And for my own interpretation, and we know that the management of plastic waste is a buzzword, and actually before the launch of the association, and we have witnessed a lot of a slogan called the end of the usage of the plastic. And I believe that the correct way of the direction is to end the plastic waste. So this is very important. And thank you very much. Thank you for your own sharing. And I believe that this is quite a challenging task for us all. And also, I have all listened to your own insight, your own responsibility you want to undertake. So that is why we want to form such an association. And one of the features of our association is that it is going to be led by the global CEO, which means that the CEOs will be personally engaged within the key procedures, the key decision makings. And so in China, and we know that the top leader in Greater China, they are in charge of the such kind of activities, and you are all the committee member of our strategic board, and you have made contributions, and you have inspired us to the future development. And my next question for you is that why are you so enthusiastic for the sustainable development? I want to learn more from your own personal idea. Okay, so actually it is for the next generation's benefit. And my own feeling is that I will ask our kids to visit the Tibetan area, and we know that the living environment in there, it is quite different from what we have in the cities. And we know that those waste, the plastic waste, for not only the commercial use, but also for the livelihood use, they are quite commonly seen. And actually, it takes us around 1 day drive from the urban area to Tibetan area. And actually, we know that the composition of the litter, most of them are the plastic ones. And my own solution, I just think about whether we could we could accumulate all those waste and to help them for the recycling process. And the things, we are only a group of people, so we can just carry away a very limited number of plastics there. And we talk about with a lot of partners, since we are in great lack of resources, the policy regulations, etc. So there is no way for us to have enough recycling process in that area. And so we know that we might have a over carrying of the population. And I believe that if we have such kind of quota for the utilization of resources, and we have already completed the usage of our quota at the beginning of August. So I just think that after my calculation, and there might be some wars and the military activities used to grab for more resources, and in the future, because it will be quite inevitable, those resources will be very scarce. From my own personal perspective, and through my career path, and I've worked in the chemical industry, and it is closely related with the reusable and recycling development of the industry. And my personal view is that the chemical industry and the production of the plastics, so we have made a lot of contributions to make it much safer, more convenient, and we are in lack of the last phase, and how to recycle all those plastic waste, and how to better serve the community as a whole. And I have a chemical and raw material background, and I just give you an example for the polypropylene raw material we use for the package or for the takeaway food. And if we could recycle it in a proper way, we could use it in indefinite times. And if we could have a better recycling and reusability, it could better serve us in the automobile industry. For example, the latest model for Tesla, the bumper they used at the front of the car, and they use the same raw material as we have for the takeaway food. And if we could recycle it to clean it up and it could have a better application in automobile industry, in outdoor activities, and also it could have covered a wider extent of the application. So we talk about the actual usage of the plastics, and we believe that it has a great value, not only in terms of the contribution to the society, but also the financial contribution is quite high. And you just mentioned about that to better serve the next generation. I couldn't believe more. And actually, I have two kids. One is 13, the next is 16. And they have gained their awareness toward environmental protection. And actually, we need to make ourselves good examples. So this is a must-have. And the next thing is about the protection toward the environment. And actually, every one of us, every individual could make contribution to that regard. And so that is why we have established a lot of healthcare related campaign. And I am very sure about how much litter, how much waste we could pick up for the 2-hour campaign. But I believe it has a greater value, a greater impact toward the education and engagement of the individuality. And we have asked them to have a better awareness toward the protection of the environment and how to decrease our value, our waste, and how to categorize the litter better. And actually, I remembered that several years ago, and we gathered around 100 people, 100 staff globally from different industry, the banking, the military, and some of them are the generals. And actually, we have all communicated our own challenge toward mankind. The first challenge is climate change, and it is quite understandable nowadays. The next is about the plastic waste. And at that time, I was a little bit surprised. And maybe at that time, I was the only one who were in the chemical company, and we are manufacturing plastics. And so I felt a great responsibility here. And so how to make sure that people will not misunderstand the plastic. And the other CEOs have just mentioned that the plastics are quite necessary for the livelihood of mankind. And actually, we have to use the plastics and some of the countries in the world, and they have to use the polypropylene and the plastics to use it as an additive for the food. So how can we make sure that we are going to manage the plastic waste and to recycle it, to reuse it in a proper way? I believe that is what we are trying to focus in the future, and to make full use of the advantage of the plastic and also at the same time protect the environment. Thank you, Mr. Lin. And through all their own sharing, and we understand that their own inspiration are coming from their own responsibility they want to undertake, and they want to use more scientific way methodology to solve the problem. And actually, Mr. Tsai has just mentioned that we need to use it as a driving force for the better usage of our next generation. And we also want to make us a great pilot example for our kids. And the next question is that looking to the future, so this is a launch for the end plastic waste, and in the future, and what is your own expectation for our own platform? What is your own sharing expectations for the startup companies? What kind of specific and innovative solutions you want to be inspired from our startups? And so we believe that this is what we want to learn from you guys. And actually, I believe, and how to decrease the litter waste, the plastic waste, and actually from collection and to the sorting, to the recycling period. And I believe it is very important. And a lot of memberships and they are focusing around one or two parts here, but they are in lack of the holistic view for the total supply chain and how to collaborate with other industries, and especially in our supply chain, and which is a little bit different from our own industry, and how to collaborate with all those participants and practitioners. And for those startups, when we know that you are quite agile and flexible, and you will use big data, AI, and to replace the current technologies. And I believe it is very important.
For us, we can just swap like our function has to make a connection with some other conferences, how to find better and implementation and carry it out, and also to have projects we can store fruit very quickly. Okay, thank you, Mr. Lin. And my idea is similar to Mr. Lin. Our basic concept is that we can make these things in a better way, and we can have some new ideas and some latest technology and latest application. And innovation is very, very important for us. And after we solve this question, together with China doing recycling industry, we have a lot of communication. Well, let's see how can we do some other best businesses, how to promote it. And why after discussion, we think that doing recycling, we have some technology, we have some solutions, no matter it is a physical recycling solution, or, for example, Dow and BASF and Shell, they have promoted some chemical recycling method. And for us, the largest pain point here, just as Mr. Chang has said, in collection and sorting, a lot of difficulties and pain points here, and the efficiency there is very low, and the result in the cost very high. And in this part, we saw many of the innovation companies, they have very good ideas, and in the morning we saw some of the cases. For example, Greyparrot, they use artificial intelligence method to make the waste to sort it in a very good way, So for us, this is a very good idea, and for our company, we pay attention to innovation, especially in the collection and sorting, especially connected with Chinese consumers, And another, it is we have some other ideas or market confidences. We are very interested in that. And another is about Karen, Mrs. Tsai has said, in plastic recycling, one very important environmental protection recycling is together with the garment industry, weaving industry, and the recycling and use of the garment industry is very, very complicated. For example, each of the clothes are double material or more material in the textile industry. For example, we have the different materials in the textile industry, and also we have different raw materials, and each of the garment, we have the dye, we have the pigment, different of the painting skills. So how to deal with that recycling? This is a huge, huge challenge, and also it's a global concern. So in this part, if we have startup companies for garment industry, how to better have new ideas for the textile and garment industry. We are very interested in that. Thank you. Okay, I will continue with what Mr. Zhao said. I agree with that in the recycling, we have very mature technology. While doing that in the sorting part, it's very, very mature. And we are doing sorting, no matter it is the plastic or some waste. We just participated in a project of the Sweden, Subatex, industrial waste. I think the true problem lies in the collection, how can we get more from consumers' side and have organized way, and also to reuse it, recycle it. We put them in the nature or in the landfill or in the incineration field. So more work should be done in the collection. We have more innovative technologies. Okay, three guests have great expectation for startups and also give guidances for future orientation. Through our CEO roundtable, we saw another advantage of the alliance. So we gather the value chain of it and we narrow our scope. And after the recycling, and we are doing the collection. Classification is not difficult, and classification is not difficult, while collection is more difficult. So we implemented, do it in a good way. That's a very, very good point. We gather all of the strengths of the industry chain in the value chain and find the problems and identify the problems and solve the problems. Okay. A final part of the CEO roundtable, we look at this industry. We want to make a summary. Our target and our mission is to end in plastic waste globally, especially in China. So how to promote the accomplishment of such mission? I'd like to invite our three guests to share with you our idea, your idea, to give guidances to our audiences and to our friends who are also in the same sector. We know we have some of the friends who are very interested in that in the online, who are also in the ecosystem. Okay, starting with Mr. Zhang. 2 points. The first is we stick to team-based value. That is, waste has its own value. Not only is a raw material value, but also nature and environment value. We need to consider that we need to have the legal perspective, and another is about we have the caring or some large companies to know that some of the challenges, for example, for us, we use recyclable materials. We would like to pay some premium price for that, but also for the recycling industry, we think that reduce, reuse, recycle, 3R, and currently in reduce, no matter it's from the legal perspective or from the exploration perspective, a lot of it some of it, for example, in the legalization and the recycle is also very, very mature perspective. But for reuse is very mature, and for all of those years, if we can have recycling of it in a long period of time, maybe not popular with the garment industry, for the garment industry, fashion industry, we can make our mobile phone be used again after 2 years of use. That will reduce the impact on the environment. Okay, I would like to follow Mr. Shang said. I have 2 key messages, and for the 2 key messages, we have already conveyed that message to all of you. The first, we think that in the sustainable development, for our consumers, for the society, for some of the policymakers, when it is a misunderstanding, for example, for plastic, we think that for plastic in the society, for the people's lives, great value in it. And Mr. Lin has said in the industry, this is unavoidable. We see that in Wuhan, in some of the hospitals, we use that when the doctors are very busy, they can't spare time to go to the restaurant. They can only eat delivery food, but delivered to the hospital wards and to the offices in the hospital. And also we wear the facial masks. Such kind of the cloth was done by. And also this material is very, very related to us in the delivery. That is a polypropylene. So some of the publicity in the society, they have some misunderstanding on plastics, because plastics is always great value. And I think that for all of our friends here, you're online, we have this opportunity to make all of the information to all of you. So plastic means a lot to the society, and for us, our society, our responsibility is how to make the closed loop of plastics in a better way. That is my first observation. And second is about we have two key points. One is innovation. We need to have better science and technologies and business patterns and the business ideas to build a closed loop. And second, we need the society and the industry to have collaboration. That is mentioned by us. We want to build the ecosystem circle concept. And as long as we have this very clear methodology to make innovation better, to have better platform, and to make all of society to collaborate by all sectors of society, and within our generation, we can make plastic waste reusable and solve this problem. Okay, thank you. I agree with the other two gentlemen's idea. The first, we think that we need to make waste as value. How to find the value of the plastic and how to make the industry change. We don't depend on the subsidy. How to create return and have sustainable development. We think that this is very, very important. The collaboration of the company can start up, can find these processes, because we have this idea, and how can we use this innovation capacity and combine all of them together. For example, this package, if these are those what we need, how we solve that, how to find the different solutions of the innovation. I think these are very, very important. Thank you, Mr. Lin and the three guests for your sharing. The advices put forward by you are with scientific advices and also very systematic. And also it is operable. All of the things can be operated for our partners online in the platform. This is of great guidances. Thank you so much. And for today's CEO Roundtable, I would like to give my time to Ocean again to serve as your moderator. Okay, please invite our distinguished guests to the stage. Thank you so much. Please be seated.
Duer 以及 PlugPlay 的首席执行官
PMP Saeed Ahmedi, CEO.
President and CEO of Alliance to End Plastic Waste, and Mr. Saeed Ahmedi, CEO of PlugPlay. 接下来我们会请 AEPW 大中华区开发负责人。
We are going to invite AEPW Greater China Region and a PMPlay co-partner also to the stage. Distinguished guests, please be on the stage. Okay, put your hands on the screen and officially kick off the meeting. Okay, congratulate on the official launch of Anti-Plastic Waste Innovation Platform, Shanghai official launch. Okay, this is a very frightening, exciting moment. Okay, please be seated. And Kevin, please return to your seat. Peter, stay with us. I think that you have a lot of the idea to make conclusion remarks for this ceremony. Okay, thank you, Ocean. It's time for me to put my fingerprint. I think that this is another very important moment. This is like a ceremony, a politeness. That is, you need to respect every commitment that you made. And you heard each of the platforms. I think that 16 of the vertical areas, I think sustainability is what I value most. It is a great mission and vision.
And in terms of the investment industry, we talk about timing. And actually, we are trying to make our commitment here. And I believe that it is never too early to establish the launch, and this is a call for the overall sustainable development. And the second is that for such kind of innovation, such kind of association, and what we're trying to do is to make more connections and to broaden the coverage of the connections. And actually, we know that it is quite valuable for all of the CEOs here to make the commitments, and I hope that we could organize such kind of events much more later. And we know that the driving force of the mindset of CEOs is very important, and we need to have a driven vision for the target. And the second is that and actually, Plug Play is also a startup company, and we believe that for the next 25-30 years, it will belong to the startups and entrepreneurs. And we need to be engaged with a lot of more than the 500 companies, and also to be collaborate with all those startup companies with more agile and flexible mindsets and principle. And we have invited all those representatives, and we want to establish more networkings for those startups. And actually, we want to help them and to support them in terms of the contribution we want to make for the startups. And the next thing is that we made our own commitment. And actually, we have 16 vertical different segmentations. And actually, we want to invest in more sources to Bella, and whether from the entrance to the scouting to the project management, we want to incentivize the development for Bella's team. And this is also our own commitment to the planet. And so when we are trying to make the commitment to press my hands there, and last but not least, I want to pay my special thanks to all those guests here, whether offline or online. And so actually we gather together with each other. So we are trying to say something, to speak it quite loud to the whole world, to make the calling. And I know that I want to pay special thanks to all our own team members. And for the past 2 weeks, the past 48 hours, and you made a lot of contributions. And this is not only a showcase of your ceremony, and this is another way to show your own commitment to the continuous and sustainable development. They commit themselves to this regard, and also thank you again. And we hope that in the future, in the long term, we could side with each other. We could strive for the sustainable development. Thank you. Thank you very much, Peter. And we believe that relying upon your own expertise and your own commitment to the sustainable development, we could make a better transformation. And we hope that we could bring more brainstorming mindsets to our own end to make more value. And last but not least, and we have also prepared the souvenirs for you. And so actually, this is a souvenir made up with the banquet. And we believe that you can bring home the vibrant flowers and to express our own principles to you all. And you could gather it from our working staff here.
Made from today's floral decorations. Feel free to grab your bouquet from our staff at the end of the luncheon. 好，那么最后呢，感谢各位的参与。
Last but not least, thank you very much again for your participation. That's the end of today's lunch, and we have also prepared the lunch for you. And actually, you could stay here and for further communication.